Tell me who we got here. So I know, because I especially want to make sure Holly Cromwell sees this one. Good morning. So I am trying to finish this piece that I promised you guys I would do. Carol and Deborah, hi. How are you guys? Deborah, I shipped a big order to you today. I promised you guys that I was going to show you how to fuse this jump ring to the top of this little piece. So that is what I'm going to do today. Hi, Nancy. And I'm going to give you a quick summary of, and hi, Amy, of what I had done, what this is, and good morning, Michelle. Kind of show you what this thing is and then what I'm planning to do to it. Okay, so as a little recap here, I need my glasses for this because it's so damn small. I don't like small things. Okay, this is a double-sided stoned little creation that I put together the other day. Okay, what this is 4 of the rose cut flat back. Good morning, Joshua. How are you? Hi, Jackie. How are you? So this is a flat back rose cut cubic zirconia. Okay, these are the new stones that we got in the other day. And I was kind of playing to see if I could actually do this. I took 2 of them. Well, guess where that went? Teaching my first. Oh, cool! That's so exciting, Amy. It's so much fun. It is really, a little stressful that first time for sure, but it's a lot of fun. And just connecting with those students is wonderful. Okay, let's see if I can get this thing hooked together. There we go. So maybe you can see this. I've got 2 of these stones back to back. Okay, so what I did was, I held this with the tweezers, it's easier. Oh, seriously, that's my morning. Okay. See, these things are not meant for me. Small, tiny little things are not my friend. Okay, there we go. I'm gonna hold it like this. So I took kind of a cutout piece of metal clay, laid it over the top, kind of what we'll call a slump setting. Hi, Ellie. How are you doing? Judith. Oh, wow. I got so many people on. So I did kind of a slump setting around a piece. I did another smaller one. And then so that stone on top is the same size as the stone on the bottom. It's just the stone on the bottom has a bigger bezel around it, okay? So then I made 4 pieces and then put them back to back and connected them together, okay? So just as a review or a recap, that's what I created, okay? Now, I'll tell you, I don't like small things. So I had this thing all put together. All I needed to do was reinforce the connection between the top one and the bottom one a little bit, clean it up, a little refining. And of course I dropped the thing on the floor and shattered it into a million pieces. So it has been one of those projects for me. So when I try to do this little thing that I'm going to do now, something is going to go wrong. So let's see what happens. Okay. I am going to attempt to fuse a jump ring to the top of this, just like so, okay? So that I have something to hang it from. That's what my plan is, right? And if all goes well, I'll probably fuse another one inside there, so I have one going the opposite direction of it, something along those lines. Thank you, Amy. I need that. I need those fingers crossed. Okay. So that's my plan. So what I have here is 20 gauge Argentium wire. Okay. I'm using Argentium specifically because I want to fuse this. I have found I like fusing a lot better than soldering, to be honest. I'm better at it. So, and I find it's just faster. I have less steps. I have less cleaning to do. All of that stuff. So that's why I like fusing a lot. We use a lot of fine silver in metal clay. So using Argentium wire to fuse to fine silver metal clay pieces, great. So I've been playing with that basically, I guess, about a year now, and have just been able to create some really cool stuff with it. So Argentium wire. There's a couple finicky little things about this, and there's a couple finicky little things about this. So that's why we're keeping our fingers crossed. This, number one, it's really small. The smaller it is, the easier it is to melt. Okay, this is when, if I had a little Smith little torch, I would be using it. Okay, I don't have that. So I'm going to use a very small head torch. Okay, this is a butane torch. A lot of times if I'm doing larger work than this, I'll be using this one. I know that with a flame that big, it's going to actually melt that little piece. So, or it's going to come close. I won't be able to control it as well. So I'm going to use a little bitty torch head with this, okay? First, I made my jump ring. 20 gauge wire is what I used. You could go a little thicker with that. I think you could probably do an 18 gauge, but I thought that was starting to look a little clunky on that little piece, so I'm going to try. And again, we're here to see how Carrie can mess things up. So we're going to try 20 gauge, okay? But you could very easily do an 18 gauge on it as well, okay? I made 2 jump rings, one as a backup. Just by using little round nose pliers, okay? Wrap my wire on there a couple times, cut it off, and have connected the ends. So, again, this is technically an open jump ring. It has not been connected right there yet. It's just put together, okay? So, first thing I'm going to do is fuse that jump ring closed, okay? I want to do that first because I'm pretty sure that I'll be able to do that easily, not connected to the piece. And trying to do that all in one step connected to the piece is going to be even harder than the connection that I need to make. So I'm going to fuse it first, then I'm going to connect it. I spent some time before I got online setting up how I was going to do this. So this does take a little thought and a little playing because it's a finicky little setup, okay? So I'll talk about that as I go through it. So with that, let me get you guys turned around so that you can see what I'm doing here. And I probably won't be able to see your questions at that point. So let's see. Get this turned around. Of course, I can't find the thing. There we go. Okay, and I'll turn the light off a little bit. That might help, but this is about as close as I can get with this particular camera. So hopefully you probably won't be able to see the fuse happen, but you'll see the process that I'm going through, okay? So some of the things that I've got sitting here. This is a piece of trash, I think it's bronze, might be white bronze. It's just a piece of trash. I'm gonna use it to support my jump ring to get it to the right height to make the connection. Because if I lay this down here, it's on the back of the piece, and I don't really want that. I want it more up in the middle of this connection up here, okay? So that's what this little piece is. It's just a piece of trash. It's a base metal so that, you know, and I shouldn't come anywhere close to the temperature of this thing, so it shouldn't stick to my metals, okay? Got 2 jump rings, which I need to fuse together. I've got some cross-locking tweezers that I'm going to try to put right here in order to stop some of that heat transfer, okay? I really only want to get the surface of this right here to melt a little bit so that it makes the connection. I don't want to risk any of this, and I don't really want to get these stones too hot either. So I'm hoping that that is enough to get some of that heat out of there. If not, I've got a couple other things. I'm going to keep my eyes on it a little bit, but I've got some other things that might help get some of the heat out of it if it seems like it's, you know, doing too much, okay? So that's what this pair of tweezers is doing. The only thing it's doing is taking some of the heat out of the metal, okay? Okay, so first, let's fuse these two jump rings. Put them somewhere where I can see them. Okay, and my seam is over here on both of those. You do not need flux for this, okay? I'm probably going to put a little bit of flux on this just to make my life a little bit easier. But for the just little tiny jump rings, I'm not going to use any flux on these. And I'm going to put my flame, and it's going to happen really quickly here, okay? I'm going to put my flame on this back side where that seam is. So I'm going to heat the whole ring up for just a second till I can see it's kind of frosty looking, and then I'm going to come in over on this side where the seam is to get that shine to happen. There it goes. Okay, nice and clean. Do it again. As soon as it looks frosty, you know it kind of comes up to temperature, and then you focus the heat on the part that you want to fuse. There it goes. Okay. Okay. So that part is done. Here's one of the finicky things about argentium. Do not quench it until it cools down. Okay? So I moved them off of the hot spot to get them to cool just a little faster, but it's not quenching. If you quench those, you will actually make the metal so brittle sometimes it'll shatter while you're working with it. Okay, so we don't want to quench argentium. Subsequently, we won't be quenching this piece either. So another great use. We don't quench this piece because this has stones in it. If we quench that, the stones can shatter. Okay, so while those cool down, now I can start getting this put together. Okay, I'm trying to remember which side is the front here. I was happier with one side than the other. This side. Okay, so again, I'm going to try to put this somewhere where it's more visible. There we go. Okay. I don't want this piece to touch this piece because I don't want that heat transfer happening. Okay. Oh yeah, I'm going to talk about the ring. Thank you, Ellie. I'll talk about that one in a second. I finished that one too. I'm happy with it too. So I've got this here for depth, but I don't want this one to touch this one because I don't want that heat transfer happening between the two of them. Okay, I want to control it a different way. So now I'm going to take one of my jump rings, and I do want that to touch that. Okay, I need to look at it from several angles, make sure it's lined up. And actually, I think it is a little too high on that piece right now. It's not really straight. And I think this thing maybe, there we go. It's just kind of laying funny. Nope, still not straight. This is the part that takes a long time, figuring out how to get this thing on there just right. No, it's not, maybe I can use the other side of it. It's not low enough is what's happening, and it just kind of sitting crooked. Okay, not happy with that. Let's get rid of that one, find another piece. Sometimes you just gotta try something else, right? Let's see, maybe this one looks better. Oh, see? That's all it took was finding the right one. See, the other thing that's happening is my piece wants to, because it's got that round stone on the back, it's wanting to flop a little. So I think I'm going to put the stone into one of these divots on my block. Ugh, every time I get it to lay right, it's crooked. Okay. We're getting close though. Well, I think I got it. Yeah, I got it. Okay, now I'm going to use a little bit of flux on this. And it's really, I'm thinking it's going to help kind of protect everything, help the the metal flow just a little bit easier. And because it's such kind of a tricky little one for me, I really want that to happen. Actually, I'm just going to put a drop. See if that's easier. There we go. But again, you really wouldn't have to use flux on this. Pick some of that up. Okay, we're ready. Here we go. Oh, no. Shoot. I forgot my heat disperser, my heat transfer, which means I gotta line the whole piece back up. Okay. This is what it's all about. I got it. Okay. Get rid of this little extra guy so we don't ruin him just in case. Okay, everybody wish me luck. Here it goes. So I'm gonna again come in here, get that flux done. Sure that's touching. Okay. And I'm gonna go away from my stone. Once I know my ring is warm enough, then I'll kind of focus on the seam between the stone and the ring. Okay, and my ring doesn't want to get hot enough because of that piece of metal under it. It's just now starting. And I'm worried because I'm thinking that that piece is gonna make the whole thing flow because it's holding heat. So I'm a little bit concerned about that. But it's so close to flowing. Come on. Starting. There it went. Okay, now I just need to make it strong enough. Okay. I got it. Now we need to keep our fingers crossed that it's strong enough. Okay. See if we can get this out from under there yet. Oh yeah. It worked! Yay! Okay. So it worked. Again, I can't quench this thing. Gonna let that cool off for a minute. But it totally worked. It was very tricky. Hang on, where's my camera? See if I can focus that a little bit for you. There you go. You can see there's a little bit of molten silver in there between those two connections. But it worked. Yay! Okay, so since that worked, I think you guys want to see me do the bigger jump ring to hang from like a necklace or something? I got no voting on anything. No questions yet. What do you guys want to see? Since I haven't heard from you, I'm just going to go ahead and do it. Okay. So now, yes, okay. So I am getting some 18 gauge. Yeah. Okay. That's an 18 gauge Argentium jump ring. Okay. And let me get this put away real quick here so I don't mess up what I'm doing. It's an 18 gauge Argentium jump ring. I'm going to fuse that through that other one so that I have something to hang, like from a chain. That's kind of what I'm thinking. Okay. So I decided not to make this earrings because I was not really happy with making tiny little pieces like that. So I will not be doing another one of those. Just not my thing. I just like that bigger stuff. Okay, so open my jump ring. Trying to make sure this thing's a little bit cooled off. Not quite. Put it through there. Okay. Closed up. Now I need to set that thing up in a way that it will fuse. Okay. So generally what I do is again put some kind of a heat transfer on here. There we go. Okay, it's a little too close. What is, oh, I see the problem. And my tweezers are a little bent open. There we go. Got it. Okay, again, just gonna go in here. When that ring starts to get kind of frosty, then I'll focus my heat on the seam to get it to flow. There it goes. Okay. Now onto the seam. Come on. What's happening here? Did I lose some heat? My torch is going down. Hang on. I'll just use the other one for a second. What the heck? You notice I got most of the flame off of that because I know this flame is too big for that little ring. Okay. Come on. Oh wow, I am not having luck with that. Hang on. Let me just get more gas. Okay. There we go. Much better. Come on. This little guy is just not wanting to go. I think I just, oh. Well, I managed to do the first part right and managed to mess up the second part. That's hilarious. Okay, let me get another one. I got plenty of them sitting right here. So let's do it again. Maybe we'll try to do it without those big old pliers on there. See if that helps. I mean tweezers. Now I'm even going to do this the right way and make this a bit more flush. Usually you can get away with not having the ends of this totally flush, but this one's got a pretty big nib on it, so I'm going to make that a little bit more flush. Okay. Let's do this way. Okay, now that thing shouldn't be bothering us. There we go. Much better. Okay. A bit more. Got it. Okay. All done. So, gonna let that cool off for a second. And I'll come back up on camera and talk to you guys. Okay, so the key with fusing funky little things like that is always going to be in, my hair is falling down, sorry, is always going to be in your setup, right? Thinking about where the heat is going to be and trying to focus it on the part that you want to fuse instead of everywhere else. That's really what it's about. It's trying to figure that out and thinking ahead and putting something to disperse some of the heat where you don't want the heat to be. Argentium, don't quench it while it's hot. It does slump a little bit when you fuse it. That's one of the things. You saw several things happen on the messed up jump ring. You saw I had the heat being diffused too much, so I couldn't get it to fuse. Then when I finally did have enough heat on there for it to fuse, the weight of the tweezers pulled the other end, pulled that end up, and the ring came apart because of the weight. So that's one of the things that can happen too. Let's see, Jerry, I've seen a razor blade laid on top of the piece to act as a heat shield. Yep, and the fusing is done through the hole in the blade. Yeah, so that you get a more focused flame. That's an interesting idea. I hadn't thought about trying to do it through the whole of a piece. I've used like all kinds of, whatever scrap piece of metal I have laying around. But that's true. Right through the center of the hole would focus that heat a little better. That's a good idea. I might try to do that. See if I can do. Well, that's the other thing though. That was only going to work on a flat piece that you've got laid down. It never fails. I always end up having some weird angle kind of thing. The other thing that really helped, I mean, if you've got a third hand too, third hands are great too. I just usually don't have enough space while I'm on camera for those. But yeah, I like that idea, Jerry. That's pretty cool. Okay. Any other questions about fusing? Comments? Little things like that? If not, I'm going to show you the ring. So I finished that too. Same thing. This was the same kind of stone, right? Those large try to get that back in the tweezer in case we got anybody new on here. There we go. So the topic that we're talking about is being able to do a larger face stone with a flat back. So this is a fireable CZ. And that way you can get more surface area on the top without having to deal with those deep stones in the metal clay, right? So I used that concept to make a open ring as well. And what was cool about that was I could use those big stones in it and I could still do the shallow texture, so it doesn't sit off my hand nearly as high as like when you have to do those really big deep textures and stuff. So I really enjoyed that quite a bit. That ring turned out great. I'm very, very happy with it. I'll probably put a little bit of patina on there so you can see the detail a little more. But other than that, I'm pleased, good to go. It's nice and firm. This is 960. Fired it in the kiln in this position, okay, was fired just like that. I put a little bit of fiber blanket in there to hold it together. Fired in the kiln at 1650 for an hour, and then I shaped it just a little bit and work hardened it a little bit on a mandrel. So I'll show you what I mean by that. Once I had it to the size that I wanted it to be, I just took for work hardening, I really like the nylon mallets for that. I don't know why. The rawhide mallets are nice too, but the nylon mallets just seem to do the job easier for me. So I have it on, I can't do this on camera very well, but have it on the mandrel and just tap, right? Just give it a little bit of tap all the way around. Give it some work hardening, take it off, feel it, see if it feels nice and hardened, if not a little more, right? And after that, then I did a little bit of a pre-polish to get, some of the white standing things laid down, right? And then put it in the tumbler. I haven't done a burnisher on it yet, but I probably will after. I'll probably do that after I do a little patina on there. But came out great, and I love that those finials aren't so deep. To me, that's nice. Sometimes I like big giant rings, but a lot of times I like them a little more flat so that they don't catch on everything, So anyway, that one turned out great too. Very happy about it. This thing's probably cooled off now. Yes. So now you can see, you need to clean it up obviously, but now you can see how that little guy came together. Double-sided, and the red is a little dark, it's catching the light through it, but it's a little dark. I can't actually see through it all the way, but the top one I can definitely see through that one. No question at all. I can see all the colors from the camera and everything coming through on there. So that one turned out pretty good, but too small for me. I will not be doing that again. Okay. So, you guys are quiet this morning, man. Have you not had enough coffee? I got hardly any questions, couple little comments. What else is going on here? I'm all done already. Okay. Well, I don't know what else I can talk about. So, I guess I'm going to give something else away. What should we give away this morning? How about another pair of Raku earrings? I think that's a good idea. Holly Cromwell, who I don't think she's on right now, but Holly Cromwell got her Raku earrings the other day, or I guess yesterday, and so she was pretty excited about it. Let me take this to my desk. Get to see my crazy studio. Okay. Okay, so let's see. I need a piece of paper. Nobody guessed too early this time. Okay, I got a number written down. Let me find some earrings to give you guys. Ooh, those are kind of cool. Dark and stormy. Okay. Oh, good. We have a question. Yay. Good morning. I'd like to master this. Kathy. Yeah. It's really not, I'm going to say it's not too hard. There's a couple little things that really will help, but just try to find some scrap and play with the scrap. That's the best way to learn. If you're going to learn on your own, that's a great way that, you can play with it and do some fusing, clean it back up, do some more fusing, and you're not wasting anything, So that's a really good way to do some practicing. I think I'm teaching a class on, I think I'm teaching 2 classes on fusing if you're going to go to Tucson. Tuned in late on the West Coast. Well, you can replay it back for sure. you can replay it back. And my tips and stuff are on there. If you are going to Tucson, I'm teaching 2 different classes in Tucson on fusing. So that might be good too. That's in April this year. So let's give away some earrings. How about these? I'm going to call them Dark and Stormies. Let me see. I lost my glasses, of course. Okay. These are Raku ceramic posts. Okay. They're kind of a dark chocolatey brown with fine silver inlays on them. So really kind of fun. They just kind of, I don't know. I don't know what to call them. That's why I'm thinking Dark and Stormy is good. Okay. So not expensive. They're not, these are not sterling or anything like that. They've got a little bit of fine silver inlay into the ceramic glaze on them. Okay. Oh, thank you. Yes, that's my class in Tucson. That's the one I was looking for. So there's posts on them. Okay. They're not sterling though. These aren't super expensive, but they're a lot of fun to wear. Okay. And if Wanda Ryder is tuned in, that's what I'm wearing right now. So these are Wanda Ryder Raku specials. These are super cool. She does the same kind of thing as me. This is fine silver metal clay inlay in the Raku, and then we've got some awesome labradorites on them. So you know that's always good. Okay, I got 15. Thank you, Nancy. I got 15 people on here. Okay, I am going to guess a number between 1 and 50. I've written it down. The first person to get close to it without going over is the winner. Okay, so you get one guess. Number between 1 and 50 without going over. Go ahead and go. Okay. Okay, I think that might be it for the guesses. Looks like I got right about the right number of people. Yep, I think that was it. Okay, the winner is Ellie. Ellie, it was 26, and you were the first person to guess 24. So, Michelle, it was so close. But not quite. And everybody at the beginning there, I can't remember who we had up there. It was like Deborah and Carol and Marianne, I think. Your numbers were so close. So close. Okay, so Ellie, I have your address. You don't need to worry about it. I can send these off to you. They'll be so much. Oh, I'm so glad you're excited. They're so cool. They're just fun. They're, you know, again, dark and stormy. It'll be one of those when you get to go out and you get to actually go dress up and have a little bit of fun. They'll be your night party earrings. Okay. I think we're good to go. So I'm going to cut off. I know. That's so funny that you're good at guessing. I'm going to cut off here, and I will talk to you guys in the next couple days, okay? I think I probably won't be able to do anything for at least a couple days, but maybe we'll try to do something early next week if I can get into that. I think I'm starting to get back into the teaching schedule though, so it's going to start getting tight. But worst case scenario, we'll say hi during a class or something. Okay? Thank you everybody for joining me. I talk to you soon. Bye.